Hello, English learners. Welcome back to our another podcast episode. I'm Adam, and let me tell you this right away. Today's episode is not like any other podcast you've heard before. No cliches, no boring advice. We're about to dive into 20 incredibly practical, fun, and life-changing ways to completely transform your life. This is not just a podcast. It's a roadmap to becoming the best version of yourself. And yes, as you listen, you'll also be improving your English without even realizing it. So stay with us, because today might just be the day you look back on as the moment your life started to change.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, and Adam's absolutely right. Today's episode is different because we're not here to just talk at you, we're here to connect with you. This isn't about abstract ideas or motivational quotes. It's about real, actionable steps that you can start using today. We're also going to make it interactive. Think of this as a conversation, not just a podcast. So grab a cup of coffee, tea, or even water, and let's get ready to have some fun while learning how to change our lives for the better.
You know, Sophia, I think the coolest part about this episode is how much value it packs. We've broken it down into 20 clear, practical tips that are easy to understand and even easier to apply. And hey, if you're learning English, you're in for a double treat. While you're learning how to transform your life, you'll also be expanding your vocabulary, improving your listening skills, and even picking up some natural phrases you can use in your conversations.
That's so true, Adam. And let's make this even more special. Here's a quick challenge for everyone listening right now. Take a moment to think about this. If you could change one thing about your life today, what would it be? Write it down, say it out loud, or share it with us in the comments, because today's podcast is all about helping you take that first step toward real transformation.
Exactly. Whether you're 20, 30, or 50, it's never too early or too late to start creating the life you've always dreamed of. And trust me, Sophia, I have a feeling that this episode is going to leave our listeners inspired and motivated to take action. So, are you ready to get started?
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't just another podcast, it's a journey. So stick with us until the end, because the 20th tip might just be the one that changes everything for you. Let's dive in.
All right. Before we jump into the first tip, let's loosen up a bit, shall we? Sophia, let me ask you this. Can you think of a time in your life when you made a change that completely turned things around for you? Something that you look back on now and think, wow, I'm so glad I did that.
Oh, absolutely, Adam. I'll never forget the time I decided to move to a new city for work. It was scary. I didn't know anyone, and I wasn't even sure if it was the right choice. But you know what? That one decision opened up so many opportunities for me. I met amazing people, learned so much about myself, and most importantly, it taught me that stepping out of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. What about you? What's your story?
That's such an inspiring story, Sophia. For me, it was the moment I decided to start waking up early. Now I know that sounds simple, but trust me, it wasn't. I was always a night owl, late nights, sleeping in, you get the picture. But one day, I just decided to try waking up at 5 a.m. for a week. It was tough at first, but it completely changed my productivity, my mindset, and even my health. Now I'm one of those annoying morning people you hear about.
Wow, Adam, I never thought I'd hear you say that. But I love that. Sometimes the smallest habits can lead to the biggest changes. And to our listeners, what about you? Have you ever made a decision that changed your life for the better? If so, share it with us in the comments. And if not, don't worry, you'll definitely find some inspiration in the tips we're about to share.
Exactly. And remember, everyone, change doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Sometimes it's the little things like Sophia moving to a new city or me waking up early that make the biggest difference over time. So, grab a notebook, write down your own story, and get ready for our first tip.
Let's do it, Adam. But before we jump in, Let's make it even more interactive. If you're listening right now, think about one small step you can take today to make your life better. Hold on to that thought, and we'll build on it as we go along. Ready for the first tip.
All right, let's get into it. Mindset. Now, I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself this. What's holding you back from the life you want? For most of us, it's not our circumstances. It's our mindset. That's why our first tip is set clear goals. Think of your goals like a GPS. If you don't put in a specific destination, how will you know where to go? Saying, I want to improve my life or I want to learn English is too vague. Instead, be crystal clear. For example, say, I will practice speaking English for 15 minutes every day, or I'll learn 5 new words a week. Those small, specific goals keep you motivated and give you a sense of progress. Sophia, have you ever experienced this in your life?
Oh, definitely, Adam. And let me tell you, viewers, setting clear goals is like giving yourself a gift. It's the clarity you need to stop feeling lost. I remember when I wanted to get healthier. At first, I kept saying, I need to exercise more, but nothing changed. Then I got specific and wrote, I'll go for a 30-minute walk every evening. Guess what? It worked. And for those of you listening right now, don't just think about your goals. Write them down. Whether it's improving your English, getting fitter, or something else, write down exactly what you want to achieve. Trust me, that simple step will change everything.
That's so true, Sophia. Clarity makes action easier. Now let's talk about the second tip. Develop a positive mindset. This is huge. Life isn't perfect. There are always challenges. But here's the key. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, focus on what you can do to make things better. For example, if you're struggling with English, don't say, I'm terrible at this. Say, I'm improving every day. That small shift in how you talk to yourself makes all the difference. And here's a pro tip. Spend more time around people who inspire you and less time around those who drag you down. Sophia, how do you stay positive when life gets tough?
Great question, Adam. And viewers, let me be honest. I've had moments where negativity took over. But here's what helped me. I started reframing my thoughts. If I made a mistake, instead of saying, I failed, I'd say, this is part of the learning process. It wasn't easy at first, but over time it became natural. And another thing, pay attention to the people around you. Are they supporting you, or are they draining your energy? If it's the latter, start spending time with those who lift you up. And for all of you listening, try this. What's one challenge you're facing right now? How can you reframe it into a positive? Write it down. It's powerful.
Such great advice, Sophia. Now, on to tip 3. Practice gratitude. This one is simple, but so impactful. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already good in your life. And the best part? You don't need anything fancy to practice it. Every morning, I think of one thing I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's something small, like enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, and other times it's something big, like the support of my family. It's a habit that keeps me grounded and focused. How about you, Sophia?
Adam, I do the same thing, but I like to end my day with gratitude. Every night before bed, I write down 3 things I'm thankful for. They don't have to be huge. It could be as simple as someone smiling at me or having a productive day. And for our listeners, I want you to try this right now. Think of one thing, just one, that you're grateful for today. Maybe it's the fact that you're investing in yourself by listening to this podcast. Hold on to that feeling. It's powerful. Gratitude really is a game changer.
All right, let's recap these mindset tips for you. 1. Set clear goals. Be specific, not vague. Write them down. 2. Develop a positive mindset. Focus on solutions and surround yourself with positivity. 3. Practice gratitude. It's the quickest way to shift your perspective. And remember, These are simple steps that you can start today. No excuses, all right? We're here to guide you, but you have to take that first step. All right, let's dive into something incredibly powerful: gratitude and learning from failure. These two go hand in hand, and trust me, they can completely change the way you approach life. First, let's talk about gratitude. It's one of those things that might seem simple, but it can have a huge impact on your mindset. When you practice gratitude, you begin to notice all the good things around you. I've personally found that gratitude helps me focus on the positives, even when life gets tough. For instance, if you're learning English and you're struggling, don't just focus on the parts you haven't mastered yet. Instead, appreciate how much you've already learned. That shift in focus makes all the difference. Sophia, how does gratitude show up in your life?
Adam, I love that you mentioned noticing opportunities. That's exactly what gratitude helps you do. For me, practicing gratitude completely changed my perspective on life. A few years ago, I felt stuck in a job that didn't inspire me. I was constantly frustrated, but when I started taking a moment every morning to appreciate the little things, my health, my friends, and even the small wins I had that day, I started to feel more energized. I became open to new opportunities, and my life slowly started shifting. So, to everyone listening, try to take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for, big or small. It's not about ignoring the struggles, it's about choosing to focus on the positives. Trust me, it'll change how you see the world.
Exactly, Sophia. It's all about shifting that focus. And now let's move into something that can really transform your approach to growth: learning from failure. I know, it's hard to think about failure as something positive. But the truth is, failure isn't the end. It's part of the journey. The biggest mistake people make is letting failure define them. But in reality, failure is just feedback. For example, if you make a mistake while speaking English, instead of thinking, "I'm bad at this," change the narrative. Say, "This mistake is helping me learn." The more you embrace failure as a learning opportunity, the more you'll grow. So, Sophia, how do you approach failure in your life?
Adam, that's exactly what I believe. Failure is not a reflection of who you are. I've failed plenty of times, and each failure has taught me something valuable. I remember when I first tried to launch my business. It was a huge flop, but I didn't see it as a failure. I saw it as an opportunity to learn. I took a step back, analysed what went wrong, and adjusted my approach. That's how I eventually turned things around. So, for our listeners, when you fail, don't beat yourself up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Failure doesn't defeat you, it makes you stronger and wiser.
Exactly, Sophia. Failure is part of the process. It's not about avoiding it, but about learning from it and moving forward. So let's quickly recap. 1. Practice gratitude. Shift your focus to what's good in your life. 2. Learn from failure. See it as feedback, not defeat. Embrace it and grow from it. With gratitude and the right mindset toward failure, you'll be able to take on any challenge with confidence. All right, let's talk about something we often overlook when we're trying to change our lives: physical health. Now, I know many people think health is all about exercise or dieting, but it's so much more than that. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your overall well-being. Your body is your foundation, and if you want to achieve anything, whether it's learning English, reaching career goals, or just living a happy life, you need to take care of your health first. For me, staying physically active gives me more energy, boosts my mood, and helps me stay sharp. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good too. Sophia, how does physical health play a role in your life?
I completely agree, Adam. Our physical health is the foundation for everything else. I remember a time when I was neglecting my health, eating poorly, not exercising, and feeling sluggish all the time. I thought I could push through it, but it started affecting my energy, my productivity, and even my mood. That's when I realized how important it is to take care of my body. Once I made simple changes like going for walks and eating more nutritious meals, everything shifted. I had more energy, I was more focused, and I felt happier. For our listeners, it doesn't have to be drastic. Start with small, consistent changes. Your body will thank you.
Such an important point, Sophia. Small changes lead to big results. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. One thing I've learned is that even just a 20-minute walk a day can work wonders for your mind and body. You'll feel less stressed, and it's a great way to clear your head. Another thing to keep in mind is sleep. We often underestimate how vital sleep is for our health. Getting enough rest helps your body recover, improves your mood, and boosts your mental clarity. How do you prioritize sleep, Sophia?
Sleep is so crucial, Adam. I used to burn the candle at both ends, working late into the night, thinking I could just power through on minimal sleep. But I learned the hard way that lack of sleep affects everything. Now, I make sleep a priority. I try to stick to a consistent bedtime, create a calm environment, and avoid screens before bed. It's amazing how much better I feel after a good night's rest. I encourage our listeners to think about their sleep habits. Are you getting the rest you really need to feel your best? If not, what's one thing you can change tonight to improve your sleep?
Exactly, Sophia. Good sleep can transform your day. And let's not forget nutrition. What we put into our bodies directly impacts how we feel and how we perform. I'm not talking about eating perfectly all the time, but making conscious choices that nourish your body. Simple things like drinking more water, adding veggies to your meals, and cutting back on processed foods can make a huge difference. It's about finding a balance that works for you. How do you approach nutrition, Sophia?
I love this topic, Adam. Nutrition is one of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of health. I used to be all about quick fixes and fad diets, but I've learned that consistency is key. Now I focus on eating whole natural foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. I'm not perfect, but I aim for balance. And hydration is a big part of it too. Drinking enough water throughout the day keeps me energized and focused. So, to our listeners, what's one small change you can make today to improve your nutrition? Maybe drink an extra glass of water or add a healthy snack to your day.
Great advice, Sophia. And don't forget, physical health isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you don't do. Stress is a huge factor in our physical health. High stress levels can lead to a whole range of problems, from poor sleep to low energy. That's why it's so important to find ways to relax and recharge. Meditation, yoga, or even just spending time in nature can help lower stress and improve your overall health. What's your go-to stress relief, Sophia?
Stress management is so important, Adam. For me, it's all about finding moments of calm. I love doing yoga or just sitting quietly and focusing on my breath. Even a 10-minute break to step outside and get some fresh air can reset my mind. For all of you listening, think about how you handle stress. Are you finding time to relax and recharge? If not, I encourage you to try one simple stress relief practice this week. It's a game changer for your physical health and overall well-being.
Exactly, Sophia. Managing stress is just as important as exercise and nutrition when it comes to your physical health. So, let's quickly recap. 1. Stay active. Even small movements, like walking, can boost your energy and mood. 2. Prioritize sleep. It's key to feeling your best and staying productive. 3. Make healthier food choices. Balance is key and small changes add up. 4. Manage stress. Take time to relax, meditate, or simply breathe. These simple habits can have a huge impact on your physical and mental health. And trust me, when you take care of your body, everything else will fall into place. All right, let's talk about something that is absolutely essential, not just for your body, but for your mind and soul, physical health. Now, I know you might be thinking, we've all heard this before, exercise, eat right, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Physical health isn't just about working out for an hour at the gym or following a strict diet. It's about creating a lifestyle, a way of living that nurtures your body, gives you energy, and helps you feel at your best. You see, your physical health is the foundation for everything you want to achieve in life. If your body isn't in peak condition, it's so much harder to chase your dreams, whether that's learning English, achieving career goals, or building meaningful relationships. When I prioritize my health, I feel stronger, more energized, and more focused. It's like giving yourself a superpower. And trust me, you're going to need it if you're going to take on life's challenges head on. Sophia, how important has physical health been for you in your own journey?
Oh, Adam, I could talk about this for hours. For me, physical health is truly the key to everything. I used to take it for granted, honestly. I would get caught up in work, rush through meals, skip exercise, and then wonder why I felt so sluggish and uninspired. But when I finally decided to make my health a priority, everything changed. The thing is, we often think of health as just fitness or dieting, but it's about more than that. It's about the balance between mind, body, and soul. Once I started making simple changes like eating better, getting more sleep, and moving my body every day, I felt alive again. More focused, more energetic, and even happier. For everyone listening, physical health isn't just about the numbers on the scale or how you look in the mirror. It's about how you feel. And trust me, when you feel good, everything else falls into place. So, Adam, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about starting your physical health journey?
That's a great point, Sophia. And I love how you mentioned feeling alive. That's exactly what physical health is about. It's about vitality, energy, and making sure your body is capable of carrying you through everything you want to do in life. So, let's break it down into small, actionable steps that anyone can start today. First off, let's talk about movement. It doesn't matter if you don't have a gym membership or can't commit to an hour-long workout. Just move your body. Start with something simple. Take a walk every day. I'm talking about 20 minutes, just to get your heart pumping and your blood flowing. It could be a walk in the park, around your neighborhood, or even around your house if you're indoors. I can tell you from experience that small commitment of just 20 minutes a day makes such a difference. You'll notice increased energy, better mood, and more clarity in your thoughts. It doesn't have to be hard, but consistency is key. What's your go-to exercise, Sophia?
Yes. I couldn't agree more. Movement is everything. I remember when I first started my physical health journey, I thought I needed to run marathons or hit the gym for hours every day. But that's just not sustainable, and it doesn't have to be the starting point. For me, walking became my go-to. It was simple, easy to do, and I could fit it into my day. And let me tell you, those walks turned into something more than just physical activity. They became my time to clear my mind, reflect on my day, and even listen to podcasts like this one. If walking doesn't excite you, try dancing, yoga, or even stretching in the morning. The key is to find something you enjoy, so it doesn't feel like a chore. If you move, you will feel the difference.
Exactly, Sophia. It's all about finding what you love. And here's something many people overlook: sleep. This one's a biggie, and I can't stress it enough. How many times have we stayed up late, telling ourselves we'll just power through the next day? Well, that's a trap. Your body needs sleep to recharge, and without it, everything else suffers. Your energy, your mood, your ability to focus. I used to think I could go on little sleep, but I've learned that rest is actually one of the most powerful tools for success. When I make sleep a priority, I wake up feeling refreshed, motivated, and ready to tackle anything. I try to keep a regular sleep schedule, avoid screens before bed, and create a calm, peaceful environment. Sophia, how do you ensure you're getting enough rest?
Sleep is such an underrated superpower, Adam. I used to be that person who stayed up late watching Netflix or scrolling on my phone, thinking it wouldn't affect me the next day. But let me tell you, it does. Now, I'm very intentional about my sleep. I make sure to wind down at least 30 minutes before bed. No screens, no emails, just some calming music or a good book. And I aim for at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. It's amazing how much better I feel when I get enough rest. To our listeners, if you're struggling with sleep, try making one small change tonight. Maybe stop looking at your phone an hour before bed, or create a more relaxing nighttime routine. Trust me, your body and mind will thank you.
Great advice, Sophia. And let's talk about nutrition. Now, I'm not here to tell you to follow some extreme diet or give up your favorite foods. But let's face it, what we eat directly impacts how we feel. I like to focus on eating whole, nutritious foods that fuel my body and give me energy. Vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, whole grains, they give you that sustained energy rather than the quick highs and crashes you get from processed foods. The key is balance. Don't feel like you have to completely restrict yourself. Instead, add more whole foods to your meals and cut back on things like sugary snacks. And water. Let's not forget about hydration. It's the most simple yet overlooked aspect of health. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps your body function at its best. What's your approach to nutrition, Sophia?
Adam, I couldn't agree more. When I started focusing on whole, natural foods, I felt a huge difference. I used to rely on quick fixes, like fast food or prepackaged meals, but my energy would crash right after. Now, I try to fill my plate with nutrient-dense foods. I focus on vegetables, fruits, nuts, and lean proteins. And as for hydration, well, I keep a water bottle with me at all times. It's such a simple thing, but drinking enough water has been a game changer for me. I feel more awake, my skin looks better, and I'm just more focused. So, if you're listening, think about your diet. What's one small change you can make today to feel better tomorrow?
Exactly. It's all about nourishing your body with the right fuel. And lastly, let's talk about something that we often forget when we're busy: stress management. Stress has a major impact on your physical health. High stress levels can lead to everything from poor sleep to fatigue, headaches, and even digestive issues. That's why it's so important to find ways to relax and unwind. Meditation, deep breathing, or even just taking a few minutes to step outside and get some fresh air can do wonders. For me, I love to take quick breaks throughout the day, stretch, breathe, and just let go of any tension. It doesn't take much, but it really helps. What's your go-to stress relief, Sophia?
Stress management is a game changer, Adam. For me, it's yoga. I try to do a short session every morning to center myself. It doesn't have to be an hour-long practice. Even just 10 minutes can help calm the mind. But honestly, any form of relaxation that works for you will make a difference. Take time to slow down. Whether it's reading a book, doing some deep breathing, or even just sitting quietly with a cup of tea, it's all about finding moments of peace in your day. So, to all of our listeners, what's one thing you can do today to reduce stress? Start small and make it a daily habit.
1. Move your body. It doesn't have to be a full workout, but stay active. 2. Prioritize sleep. Give your body the rest it deserves. 3. Eat whole, nutritious foods. Fuel your body with the right stuff. 4. Manage stress. Take time to relax and recharge. When you focus on your physical health, you're setting yourself up for success in all other areas of your life. Trust me, when you feel good physically, you can take on anything. Now that we've covered physical health, let's take a step into a topic that is just as important: mental wellness. So often, we focus on our bodies and forget that our minds need just as much care, attention, and nurturing. Think about it. How many times have you felt physically exhausted, but you've also felt mentally drained? Mental wellness isn't just about being happy all the time. It's about maintaining balance, managing stress, and protecting your mental space. When we take care of our mental health, we become more resilient, more focused, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. For me, mental wellness is all about creating a strong foundation of positivity, self-awareness, and stress management. It helps me stay calm in the face of chaos. But what does mental wellness mean to you, Sophia?
Adam, I love this topic because I think it's something that's often overlooked in the quest for success. When we talk about mental wellness, it's not about being perfect or always happy. It's about emotional balance, recognizing when you need a break, and being kind to yourself. I've realized over the years that if I don't prioritize my mental health, everything else starts to suffer. And I know I'm not alone in this. Mental wellness is all about giving yourself permission to feel, whether that's joy, sadness, frustration, or stress. It's important to acknowledge your emotions, not suppress them. For me, I try to make time each day for something that supports my mental health, whether it's journaling, practicing mindfulness, or just disconnecting from technology. And honestly, I've seen such a huge difference in how I handle stress and challenges since I started making mental wellness a priority. What about you, Adam? What's one practice that helps you stay mentally well?
That's so powerful, Sophia. I completely agree. It's about feeling, not just pretending everything is fine. One practice I've adopted is daily mindfulness. It's not as complicated as it sounds. For me, mindfulness is about being present in the moment. I take a few minutes every morning to just breathe. No distractions, no phone, just focusing on my breath and being present. This helps me clear my mind, calm my nerves, and set a positive tone for the day. And I've noticed that when I start my day like this, everything feels a little more manageable, no matter what comes my way. Mindfulness doesn't have to be a long session. Just 5 to 10 minutes is enough to reset your mindset. What are your thoughts on mindfulness, Sophia?
I'm so glad you mentioned mindfulness, Adam. It's one of my favorite practices too. It's so simple yet so effective. What I love about mindfulness is that it gives you permission to pause. In our fast-paced world, we rarely take the time to just stop and focus on the present moment. We're constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future. But mindfulness forces us to be right here, right now. I practice mindfulness in little moments throughout my day, like when I'm drinking my coffee or walking to the store. I'll just take a few deep breaths, focus on the sounds around me, and let go of any tension in my body. It's a small habit, but it makes a big difference in how I handle stress. And for anyone listening, if you've never tried mindfulness before, I challenge you to start with just 3 minutes a day. See how you feel after a week.
Such great advice, Sophia. It really is about creating space for yourself in a world that constantly pulls your attention in every direction. And speaking of space, let's talk about setting boundaries. This is something I think a lot of us struggle with. We want to help others, say yes to every opportunity, and please everyone around us. But here's the thing. When you don't set boundaries, you end up burning out, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Boundaries are essential for maintaining mental wellness because they protect your energy and give you permission to say, I need time for myself. It can be as simple as saying no to extra work when you're feeling overwhelmed or taking a day off when you need rest. Sophia, how do you set boundaries in your life?
Adam, boundaries are absolutely critical. I've learned the hard way that if you don't set boundaries, you can quickly become overwhelmed and exhausted. For me, setting boundaries is about knowing my limits and respecting my own needs. I've had to say no to things that didn't align with my priorities. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was letting people down. But then I realized that when I prioritize my mental health, I'm able to show up more fully for others too. I've started blocking out time in my schedule just for me, whether it's for self-care, reading, or doing something creative. I've learned that it's okay to not be available all the time. Setting boundaries is about protecting your peace. For our listeners, ask yourself, what boundaries can you set today to protect your mental wellness?
Absolutely, Sophia. It's all about protecting your peace and not feeling guilty for taking time for yourself. And a huge part of mental wellness is self-compassion. We can be our own worst critics. How often do we talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to others? We all make mistakes, we all face setbacks, and that's okay. What's important is how we treat ourselves when things don't go as planned. I've learned to be kinder to myself. Instead of berating myself for every mistake, I try to think of it as a learning opportunity. And when I do something right, I celebrate it, even the small wins. It's about building a healthy relationship with yourself. So, Sophia, how do you practice self-compassion?
Adam, I love this so much. Self-compassion is a game changer. For me, it's all about acknowledging that I'm human. I don't have to be perfect, and neither do you. When I make mistakes or face setbacks, I try to remind myself that it's okay to be imperfect. Instead of criticizing myself, I talk to myself as if I were talking to a friend, kindly, with understanding. I also make sure to celebrate my wins, even the small ones. Whether it's completing a task or simply getting through a tough day, I give myself credit. I encourage everyone listening to try this. Be gentle with yourself, especially when things don't go according to plan. You're doing your best, and that's enough.
Such a powerful reminder, Sophia. And finally, let's talk about connecting with others. Human connection is vital for mental wellness. When you're feeling down, stressed, or isolated, reaching out to others can make all the difference. Whether it's talking to a friend, family member, or even a therapist, you don't have to go through challenges alone. And when we surround ourselves with supportive, positive people, it boosts our mental health. I personally try to surround myself with people who lift me up and encourage me to be my best. What about you, Sophia?
Adam, connection is so important. I've learned that isolating myself only makes things worse. But when I reach out to others, whether it's through a phone call, a coffee date, or a simple text, it's like a weight lifts off my shoulders. I also make it a point to surround myself with people who support my growth and encourage me to take care of myself. Mental wellness isn't just about managing your own thoughts and feelings. It's also about surrounding yourself with people who nourish your mind and spirit. To our listeners, take a moment to think about the people in your life. Who can you reach out to today for support? Who can you lean on for encouragement?
That's amazing, Sophia. So, let's recap the key takeaways for mental wellness. 1. Mindfulness. Give yourself moments to be present, breathe, and reset. 2. Set boundaries. Protect your mental space and prioritize your needs. 3. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially in tough times. 4. Connect with others. Reach out to those who support you and lift you up. When you focus on mental wellness, you're giving yourself the strength to handle anything life throws at you. Trust me, taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your body. And in the next segment, we'll dive into building positive habits that can transform your life. So stay tuned. This is just getting started.
Yes. And if you're feeling inspired, take a moment today to nurture your mental wellness. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, setting a boundary, or simply reaching out to someone you trust, your mind will thank you. Let's keep moving forward with some incredible tips on how to build habits that support your overall well-being.
All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful tools you can use to transform your life: productivity hacks. Now, let me ask you, how many times have you looked at the clock and thought, where did the time go? Or maybe you've set out to do a dozen things, and by the end of the day, you've crossed off none of them. Trust me, I've been there. But here's the good news. Productivity isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about finding ways to maximize your time, focus on what truly matters, and still have energy left for the things you love. Sophia, Have you found any productivity tricks that have really worked for you?
Oh, absolutely, Adam. I used to be the kind of person who tried to do everything at once, and honestly, I'd end the day feeling like I'd accomplished nothing. But once I started implementing some productivity hacks, things began to change. One of my absolute favorites is the Pomodoro technique. It's simple but effective. You work for 25 minutes straight, then take a 5-minute break. It's amazing how focused you can be when you know you've got a short, dedicated burst of time. And those breaks? They're essential to prevent burnout. Over time, this method helped me stay sharp and keep my energy levels up. Have you tried the Pomodoro technique, Adam?
I have, and I absolutely love it. It's funny because I used to think I had to work for hours on end to be productive, but I realized that our brains work best in short bursts. The Pomodoro technique helps prevent that mental fatigue and gives you the opportunity to recharge in between. Now, I'll often time myself during work sessions and remind myself to take those quick breaks. But here's another productivity hack that I've found super useful: time blocking. Have you ever tried this, Sophia?
Yes, and time blocking is a game changer. I'll break down my day into chunks of time where I focus on specific tasks. For example, I'll have a block of time for answering emails, another for creative work, and another for meetings or phone calls. The key here is to not let anything interrupt you during those blocks. It's almost like creating a schedule for yourself that helps you stay disciplined. Time blocking has helped me stay organized and avoid that feeling of being pulled in a million directions. What's your time blocking routine like, Adam?
Great question. So I try to plan my day the night before, and I'll map out my time blocks for the following day. I'm all about making sure that I tackle my most important tasks when I'm at my peak energy level, which for me is usually in the morning. So I'll reserve my mornings for deep, focused work, things like writing, planning, or any project that requires concentration. Then, in the afternoon, I'll handle things like meetings, emails, or any less mentally demanding tasks. Time blocking really helps me create a sense of order in my day, so I'm not constantly reacting to things. It keeps me ahead of the game. But tell me, Sophia, have you found that using time blocks helps you maintain focus during the day?
Oh, for sure. Time blocking really forces me to prioritize. Without it, I would probably spend my whole day just reacting to emails or random tasks, and before I knew it, the day would be over without any progress on my big goals. Time blocking helps me stay intentional about how I spend my time. Another thing I've done to boost productivity is eliminating distractions. For me, this means turning off notifications on my phone, closing unnecessary tabs on my browser, and even telling people not to disturb me when I'm in the middle of a task. It's all about creating a focused, distraction-free environment. What about you, Adam? Any tricks for staying focused in a world full of distractions?
I completely agree with you, Sophia. Eliminating distractions is key. For me, it's all about creating a work zone. I'll put my phone on Do Not Disturb, turn off all notifications, and even let my family or housemates know that I need some focused time. When I'm really deep in work, I also love using noise-canceling headphones or listening to instrumental music to help me zone in. Another productivity hack I've found helpful is batching similar tasks. Instead of responding to emails as they come in throughout the day, I'll set aside a specific block of time to respond to all of them at once. This prevents me from constantly switching between tasks and helps me stay in the zone. Have you ever tried task batching, Sophia?
Yes, I've definitely tried batching, and it's made a huge difference. Instead of hopping between tasks all day, I'll group similar activities together. Like, if I have to write a bunch of emails, I'll do them all in one go. Or if I need to brainstorm ideas, I'll dedicate an hour just for that. It prevents that constant mental switching, which, as you know, can be a huge drain on your energy. And you know what's another great hack I've started doing? The 2-minute rule. If a task will take you less than 2 minutes to complete, do it right away. This helps to avoid that build-up of small tasks that can feel overwhelming. I try to follow this rule every day, and it keeps me from procrastinating on little things that add up. Do you follow this rule, Adam?
I love the 2-minute rule. It's such a simple yet effective way to keep things moving. I'm definitely on board with that one. Another thing I've started doing that's had a huge impact on my productivity is setting daily goals. But not just any goals, SMART goals. I try to make them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That way, at the end of the day, I know exactly what I've accomplished and what still needs attention. It's a great way to stay motivated, especially when you're juggling multiple projects. Setting these kinds of clear goals helps me keep track of my progress and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Sophia, do you set daily goals?
Yes. I've found that setting clear, actionable goals is key to staying on track. I use a planner to write down my top 3 goals for the day. They're small, manageable goals, but they give me direction and purpose. I also try to keep a running list of tasks so I can easily track what's coming next. Another tip I swear by is celebrating small wins. Every time I finish a task or hit a goal, I take a moment to celebrate. Even if it's something as simple as treating myself to a cup of coffee or taking a quick break, it helps me stay motivated and reminds me that progress is being made, no matter how small. So, Adam, what's one goal you're working on right now that you're excited about?
I love that. Celebrating those small wins makes a big difference. As for me, right now, I'm focused on growing my podcast. I've set a goal to increase engagement with my audience by creating more interactive content and consistently posting episodes. Every time I see a listener comment or share an episode, I feel that sense of accomplishment, and it fuels me to keep going. And honestly, that's the magic of productivity hacks. They help you stay focused, but they also keep you motivated by showing you progress every step of the way. So, let's recap the productivity hacks we've shared today. 1. Pomodoro technique. Work in short bursts with regular breaks. 2. Time blocking. Organize your day into focused work blocks. 3. Eliminate distractions. Create a work zone free of interruptions. 4. Batch tasks. Group similar tasks together to maintain focus. 5. The 2-minute rule. Complete quick tasks immediately. 6. Set SMART goals. Make your goals specific, measurable, and achievable. 7. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. When you implement these productivity hacks, you'll start to see the difference in how much you accomplish each day. Trust me, productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things more efficiently. All right, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that I believe is at the core of personal transformation: lifelong learning. In today's world, everything is constantly changing. Technology evolves, new ideas emerge, and the way we work and live is always in flux. So, how do we stay ahead? How do we keep growing, not just in our careers, but as people? The answer is simple: never stop learning. Lifelong learning is about developing the habit of continuously seeking knowledge, exploring new skills, and embracing growth. And you know what? It doesn't matter how old you are. Whether you're in your 20s or 50s, there's always room to learn. Sophia, how has lifelong learning impacted your life?
I love this topic, Adam. For me, lifelong learning has been one of the most rewarding habits I've ever adopted. It's not just about taking courses or reading books, although both are super important. It's about being curious, approaching every day with the mindset that you have something new to learn. Whether it's learning a new language, picking up a new skill, or even just learning more about yourself, it keeps life exciting and fulfilling. I think the misconception people have is that learning is something you do in school and then stop. But that's not true. Lifelong learning is about embracing the idea that growth never stops. How about you, Adam? How do you incorporate learning into your daily life?
That's such a great point, Sophia. Lifelong learning is ongoing. For me, I try to make learning a part of my daily routine. I've always been passionate about reading, and I set aside time every day to read, whether it's a book, an article, or even listening to podcasts. I try to consume content that challenges me, that teaches me something new, and that expands my perspective. But I also make it a point to learn through experiences, not just books. Sometimes, the best lessons come from real-world challenges. Recently, I took up photography as a hobby. It's been so refreshing to approach something completely new and learn by trial and error. Have you ever learned a new skill, Sophia, just for the fun of it?
I absolutely love the idea of learning through experience, Adam. For me, one of the most exciting things I've learned recently is how to cook. It sounds simple, but it's been such an enjoyable challenge to learn new recipes, try different cuisines, and actually get better at it over time. The best part is that cooking is not just about the food, it's about the creativity, the process, and how it helps me slow down. It's a skill that brings joy to my life. I think the key is finding something that excites you. It's not about adding more tasks to your to-do list. It's about making the process of learning fun and fulfilling. What do you think, Adam? How can people make learning fun again?
I love how you've connected learning with something as fun and rewarding as cooking. For me, making learning fun is all about experimenting and allowing yourself to be a beginner again. We often get caught up in the idea of being good at something right away. But the real magic comes when we embrace the process and enjoy the journey. I also recommend stepping outside your comfort zone. Try something that feels a bit intimidating. Whether it's learning a new language, diving into a completely different career path, or taking up a hobby you've always been interested in, it sparks growth. And when we take those risks, we experience a deeper sense of accomplishment. And let's not forget about technology. There are so many amazing apps and platforms that make learning fun, like Duolingo for languages or Coursera for online courses. Do you use any apps or platforms for learning, Sophia?
Yes, I love using learning apps. One that I absolutely adore is Skillshare. It has so many classes on everything from design to photography to business skills. I've taken several courses that have helped me level up my professional skills and also just learn new things for fun. But what I've also discovered is that the best kind of learning comes from interacting with others, whether it's joining a group or community of people who share the same interests, or even just having conversations with people from different walks of life. Those interactions teach you so much. It's the perfect mix of learning and networking. And I think as we get older, we often forget how valuable learning from others can be. Adam, have you ever learned something from a conversation or a community you've been a part of?
That's such a great point, Sophia. I think community learning is often overlooked. Recently, I've been part of an online group focused on podcasting and content creation, and I've learned so much just by listening to others' experiences and sharing ideas. There's something really powerful about being around like-minded individuals who are all striving for growth. One thing I love about it is the accountability and the sense of connection it brings. And the best part? It's not just about knowledge, it's about inspiration. When we surround ourselves with people who are learning and growing, it pushes us to do the same. So, for anyone listening, I encourage you to find a community that excites you, whether it's online or in person. You never know how much you can learn from the people around you. Sophia, do you have any tips for finding learning communities?
Absolutely. First, start by identifying what you're passionate about or what you want to learn. Once you have that, search for groups or communities that align with your interests. It could be a Facebook group, a meetup, or even a local class. I've also found a lot of value in attending workshops or conferences, even virtually. The key is to stay open-minded and willing to engage with others. Don't be afraid to ask questions and share your experiences. It's a two-way street. Also, follow thought leaders in areas that interest you. Social media can be a great tool for discovering new ideas and resources. So, whether it's a formal course or an informal conversation, always stay open to learning.
Yes, I completely agree. Lifelong learning is all about staying curious and never losing that sense of wonder. And here's the thing, learning doesn't have an expiration date. You can keep learning for your entire life. It's about challenging yourself, having fun with the process, and embracing the growth that comes from it. So, if you take one thing away from this segment, let it be this. Learning is a lifelong journey, and there's no better time to start than now.
Exactly. Whether you're reading, listening to podcasts, taking courses, or engaging in conversations, every day is an opportunity to learn something new. So, let's keep that curiosity alive, no matter where we are in life. And if you've been thinking about picking up a new skill or diving into a new area of knowledge, now's the time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Lifelong learning is all about embracing that mindset of constant growth.
Let's take a moment to dive into something that is incredibly important for personal growth: relationships and connection. Whether it's our family, friends, co-workers, or even strangers we meet along the way, our connections with others play a massive role in shaping who we are and how we experience the world. Have you ever noticed how much more inspired, motivated, or even at peace you feel when you're surrounded by people who uplift you? It's almost like magic. But relationships aren't just about receiving, they're about giving too. It's a two-way street. Sophia, what role have relationships played in your own life, and how have they shaped you?
Such a powerful question, Adam. Honestly, relationships have been at the core of so many pivotal moments in my life. When I think about the people who've made the biggest impact on me, it's not the ones who've just been there for me when things were easy, but the ones who've supported me through the tough times. Whether it's a friend offering a listening ear, a mentor guiding me through challenges, or even my family encouraging me to keep going, these relationships have shaped the person I am today. They've taught me the importance of empathy, vulnerability, and trust. But the best part about relationships is that they're reciprocal. When we connect with others on a deep level, we start to create a network of support that can carry us through life's ups and downs. How about you, Adam? How have relationships impacted your journey?
That's so well said, Sophia. For me, relationships have been the foundation of my personal and professional growth. One thing I've learned is that no one truly succeeds alone. We all need a support system, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues. Personally, I'm blessed to have a circle of people who challenge me, inspire me, and help me grow. They're the ones who remind me to keep pushing forward, especially when things get tough. But beyond just having a support system, I think it's important to also give back in our relationships. It's about showing up for others, sharing knowledge, offering help, and creating a network of mutual support. I've noticed that the more I give, the more I receive in return. Sophia, what are your thoughts on building meaningful relationships?
I couldn't agree more, Adam. Building meaningful relationships starts with being present and genuine. It's easy to get caught up in surface-level interactions, especially in the digital age where everything feels fast-paced. But the relationships that truly matter are the ones where both people are invested in each other's well-being and growth. One thing I've learned over the years is that vulnerability is key. Opening up, sharing your struggles and victories, and being honest with those around you creates a deep level of connection that is hard to replicate. And when we're vulnerable, we create space for others to do the same. That's where true connection happens. So, how do you nurture your relationships, Adam? What's your approach to staying connected with the people you care about?
That's such a great point, Sophia. Vulnerability truly is the key to deep, meaningful relationships. For me, staying connected with the people I care about is all about prioritizing quality over quantity. It's easy to get distracted by busy schedules and let relationships fade into the background. But I make it a priority to check in regularly with the people who mean the most to me, whether it's a phone call, a quick text, or even just a moment of gratitude. And when I do spend time with them, I try to be fully present. It's amazing how much deeper the connection can be when you put your phone down and really listen. But beyond just maintaining connections, I think we also need to be intentional about the kinds of people we let into our lives. Surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive individuals is one of the best ways to foster growth. Have you ever had to distance yourself from relationships that weren't serving you, Sophia?
Yes, Adam. I've had to make tough decisions in that regard. Over the years, I've realized that not all relationships are healthy or positive, and that's okay. It's hard to accept, but sometimes you have to let go of connections that drain you or hold you back. It doesn't mean you're giving up on the person. It just means that your path in life may no longer align. And that's completely normal. The truth is, we have to protect our energy and make space for the people who support us, encourage us, and challenge us to be better. So, for anyone listening, I encourage you to really evaluate the relationships in your life. Are they uplifting you? Are they helping you grow? If not, maybe it's time to set some boundaries or even let go. Adam, do you think there's a way to tell when a relationship is no longer serving us?
Great question, Sophia. I think one of the biggest signs is how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you feel energized, inspired, and supported? Or do you feel drained, negative, or anxious? If it's the latter, that's a big red flag. It's important to remember that relationships should add value to your life, not take it away. And it's not about cutting people off for no reason. It's about recognizing when a relationship is no longer healthy or beneficial for both parties. Setting boundaries is key. Sometimes that means limiting contact or having difficult conversations about your needs. It's all about creating a space for healthy, supportive relationships that contribute to your well-being. So, Sophia, how do you go about setting boundaries in relationships?
Boundaries are so crucial. For me, setting boundaries starts with being clear on what I need and communicating that respectfully. I've learned that I can't always please everyone, and that's okay. I used to say yes to everything, but over time, I realized that saying yes too much left me feeling overwhelmed. So now, I make sure to communicate openly about my time, my energy, and my needs. And I also give others the space to do the same. Healthy boundaries create a sense of mutual respect and understanding in relationships. It's about making sure both people's needs are met without compromising your own well-being. Adam, how do you navigate boundaries in your personal and professional life?
That's such a powerful approach, Sophia. For me, it's all about honesty and respect. I try to be upfront with people about what I can give, whether it's time, energy, or support. I've also learned the importance of saying no without guilt. It's so easy to feel obligated to say yes all the time, but I've found that being clear about my boundaries allows me to focus on the relationships that truly matter and help me grow. In my professional life, I've had to establish boundaries around my work hours and my availability. It's about finding a balance between giving to others and taking care of myself. The better you can establish those boundaries, the healthier and more fulfilling your relationships will be.
I couldn't agree more, Adam. Relationships are at the heart of everything. Our personal growth, our happiness, and even our success. So, if you take one thing away from this segment, let it be this. Invest in relationships that add value to your life, and don't be afraid to let go of the ones that drain you. Life is too short to surround yourself with people who hold you back. And remember, connection isn't just about being around others. It's about being truly present, supportive, and open with one another.
That's it for today's episode on relationships and connection. We hope you're inspired to nurture meaningful relationships that support your growth. Remember, it's about giving back and creating strong, positive bonds with those around you.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you found this episode helpful, share it with others and leave your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep growing and thinking in English. Take care. Thank you.